windshield. Sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes it all comes together, baby. Sometimes you're a fool in love. Sometimes you're the Louisville slugger, baby. Sometimes you're the ball.
Here's the thing. As I get older and, you know, going all over the world and teaching it, talking about it and seeing it in different angles and realizing that all of acting and all of life, especially this work, but all of acting is really about letting go of control. That's it. And if you want to be, I can only speak for myself. If I want to be sane, if I want to be healthy, if I want to be happy, if I want to be fulfilled, if I want to have a modicum of like a stress-free life, I don't think there's any such thing as a stress-free life, but having a bit of, you know, as least amount of stress as you can possibly generate, then it requires you realizing that all of life is what? Not controllable. It's just not. The physics of it make that completely impossible. Therefore, acting dwells in that space of an uncontrollability. And then I thought, well, listen, there's many different ways we think we're letting go of control, and it's seductive, and we think that, you know, it's actually being manipulative. Sometimes we think we're really letting go of control, and we realize that we're actually manipulating the moment. Or in other ways, we feel like we really got life by the balls, right? And, you know, I was thinking just about my own life. Like, you know, sometimes you think, oh, I'm really young, and okay, that's going to change. I'm really hot. That's going to change. I'm really successful. That's going to change. I've got a shit ton of credits. That's going to change. I've got the most amazing agency in the world. That's going to change. I'm on a TV series. That's going to change. I'm working all the time. That's going to change. So what's that mean? Well, that means, again, all of life is, the constant is change. And in change is what? An uncontrollability. So where does that leave us? Oh my God. Well, that leaves us where I was this morning and what I experienced, which is not a very big deal, but the trigger created what I'm talking about. Well, I realize that we as human beings, I think especially artists, because we are constantly wanting people to like us and we're putting ourselves out there in a very vulnerable way. But part of the challenge that we face as human beings is we have a lot of shame, self-internalized shame around not doing things perfectly, not doing it right, quote-unquote failing, not measuring up with the idea of what we think success looks like, making mistakes, you know, taking action that maybe if you thought it out before you took action, you realize it wasn't maybe the smartest thing to do in the world, but it happened anyway, and then what happens? You end up beating yourself up. You do a lot of what I'm teaching, what we're trying to correct is you take the left brain drain train and you get on a neural groove that really actually destroys you as opposed to feeling. So today I missed my flight in Vancouver. Obviously it all works out because I'm here. But in the moment, for some reason, I've missed flights before. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But for some reason, it just triggered a lot of stuff in me. And I started to feel really vulnerable. And, you know, when you're dealing with vulnerability and not wanting to deal with vulnerability, you start to beat yourself up for it. You're so stupid. How'd you let that happen? Oh my God, right? You take that train. So I did what anybody would do before dealing with it, is I called two of my friends. And they both had different advice for me. One of them said, just go have a Bloody Mary. Which at times I advocate. Sometimes you gotta, you know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. Well, not really, but no, whatever. But no, I am not about self-medicating, you guys know that. It's all about, we have to feel more. We gotta be out in the world feeling more. You have to. That's an alive, awakened life. So that didn't really work. And then my other friend I called, he said, you're crying because you missed a flight? Which did what? In the short term, it immediately triggered my shame. Because I felt, oh God, I'm like an expert on feeling. I teach this for a living. I should have my shit together, right? So I went down that path. But then he said, well, what's this really about? And then I realized, oh boy, it's really about letting go of control, which forces you to feel vulnerable. That's it. It doesn't matter that it was an innocuous event, that I missed a flight, I got on a later flight. But you see, we don't want to deal with that. And so, of course, in the moment when I missed the flight, I was like, I was there on time, whatever, but somehow the gate was closed. No, I was. Somehow the gate was closed. So, of course, I was like, okay, well, I can only take accountability for that, except for that Air Canada customer service representative named Peter, who was a total douche. But I was like, no, wait, it's me, wait. Except for my friend Allison, who drove me to the airport, but she drove like a grandma. That's why we were late. No, wait, it's me. No, it's actually the TSA's fault, because they have this retarded rule that you have to be at your flight an hour before the departure. No, it's me. So I actually had to just keep coming back to, I can't project it on anybody else, I just actually have to deal with what is the feeling that comes up in having to let go of control. So listen, that's what we're all here for. As artists, being on the planet, being in relationship, being out in the world, and trying to find a way of negotiating through that. How do you do it? Moment by moment, each moment. Sound familiar? In your work. Moment by moment. Each moment. In life, moment by moment, each moment. The last thing I just want to say is a little coda about this, because then I was on the plane experiencing a lot of turbulence, which also was like, well, I gotta let go of control about that. And I realized, oh gosh, a lot of times we as human beings, when something happens, like, okay, I missed the first flight, and then we do this. We're like, well, there must be a reason. I'm going to get on another flight, and the place next to me is going to be empty, and the most single, eligible, handsome man is going to sit there, and I'm going to be happily married. Now, that didn't happen. A crying baby was next to me, and I was given, a bag of pretzels. Oh, no, there must be a reason for this. I'm going to meet a power agent, and he's going to, change my life. No, actually, Alaska Airlines was full of, these Sarah Palin enthusiasts who I thought were, going fishing in Disneyland. That didn't happen. Oh, no, it's gotta... I'm going to sit next to Rihanna. That didn't happen. I was sitting way in the back of the bus. Here is the insight. Stop looking for it externally. Sometimes there's manifestations externally. Of course, all the time we're living in an external world. To me, what actually made me feel very vulnerable, and I started crying on the flight about it, it made me feel really happy, is the insight is, wow, the lesson that we're all seeking is awakened within us. That's it. If you're just but patient enough to breathe through it, if you're just but acknowledging enough to feel through it, the lesson that you most need to get is just right here. That's the truth. So I'm going to just end with this. I came up with an acronym, L.G.O.C. and BV. Yeah! That is our mantra in life. Let go of control and be vulnerable. L.G.O.C. and BV. L.G.O.C. and BV. It's going to be very hard and very scary. Try it. Can you try it? Okay. All right. That's all I have to say about my trip to Vancouver. Oh no.
Sometimes you're the Louisville slugger, babe. Sometimes you're the ball.